guys, Dr. Will here from Miami Spine and Performance in Hollywood, Florida. Today what I want to address is plantar fasciitis. So obviously a lot of places around the country the weather's starting to get nicer, so a lot of people are running. Here in South Florida, it's generally the opposite. People run not summertime because it gets so hot, but I've been seeing a lot of runners lately and even non-runners that are dealing with plantar fasciitis. So what I want to give you guys today is a couple of tools and a couple of things you can do at home with very simple equipment to help relieve some of your plantar fasciitis pain, because a lot of people deal with it depending on what kind of footwear you wear. You know, my patients that wear boots throughout the day and things like that, they end up with this kind of pain. So all you need is a lacrosse ball and a small foam roller, and you can find a lot of relief for your plantar fasciitis. Of course, I always recommend go get evaluated by a professional. If it's an issue that's been bothering you for a while, or if you have a high level of pain, come see a professional, someone like myself, and I can help get hands-on and resolve the issues. So the first thing that we're going to do for plantar fasciitis, and this is something you can do preventatively as well, is we're just going to roll the lacrosse ball on the bottom of the foot. Okay. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to sit. I'm going to put my foot on the lacrosse ball. I'm going to lean some weight onto my leg, and I'm just going to run the ball all the way up and down the bottom of my foot, from the top of my heel all the way to the bottom of my toes. And I want to make sure that I get the outside of the foot, the inside of the foot. And if you find a really sticky area, one little secret that I'll give you guys is you can put some pressure on it and then flex and extend your toes just like that over the sticky area. When I extend my toes, it's actually stretching the plantar fascia. When I flex my toes, it's relaxing the plantar fascia. So this is a way that I can kind of maneuver my foot in a way to just release that area, just like so. Okay, I'm gonna roll back and forth. I'll switch sides to the other foot. I'd recommend that you guys spend, a minimum of 60 seconds, if not up to 2 minutes, just rolling the bottom of your foot. And again, guys, even if you're not experiencing plantar fasciitis, if you're somebody that's active, or if you're required to wear any kind of restrictive footwear, this is a great thing you can do to just kind of release the bottom of your foot. Again, I'll find a sticky spot, and I'll flex and extend and release. Just like that. Okay? So that's how we're going to use the lacrosse ball. Again, that could be an everyday thing. You can do it standing, you can put a little bit more body weight into it. It just depends on your own tolerance. But you'll be amazed at how much more free and flexible your feet are going to feel after using the lacrosse ball. Number two is we're actually going to use a foam roller to release the calf. Now, only you real anatomy nerds know that this fascia runs all the way from the calf down through the plantar fascia. So if we can release some of the tension in the calf and the Achilles here, we can actually free up some of that tension in the bottom of the foot. So the way that we're going to foam roll the calf is we're going to start all the way down by the Achilles. I'm going to put my other leg on top, and you can roll back and forth nice and slow. If it's too much pressure, you can take one leg off and you can just roll through the calf like that. Particularly, you want to be down by the Achilles tendon, which is that tendon just to the back of your ankle. I'm just going to roll back and forth. You're going to have to do some digging yourself to figure out whether or not you carry tension on the inside of the calf, the outside of the calf, or if it's right down the middle. But this is a great way to relieve some tension. And again, we can use our secret, flexing and extending the ankle, which is going to bring tension on and off of the calf. Just like that. So I find a sticky spot, I move my ankle around, and then switch sides. Again, I'm going to roll up and down on the calf like so. You want some extra pressure, put your other leg on top. And we're just going to mash through the calf just like this. And again, you don't have to have plantar fasciitis to be doing maintenance work on yourself. One of the best ways to avoid pain is to do maintenance on your body on a regular basis. Maybe you don't have time to get massages, or you can't afford it at this time. A foam roller is a nice, easy, affordable tool that anybody can use that can help keep your body healthy. So now we've released the bottom of the foot. We have the foam roller here. We release the calf. Now we're going to take that same foam roller and we're just going to stretch the calf like so, right? So I have my foot anchored up on the foam roller and I'm getting a huge stretch in the back of my calf. So I'm just going to kind of lean into it. Now what you should be feeling is a stretch all the way from the back of your foot all the way up to maybe the top of your knee. And depending on your specific body, you're going to feel tightness in different areas of the calf. But as long as you're feeling the lower leg stretching, that's perfect. And again, this one you can hang out for anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. Same thing on the other side. Put my foot down. And we're just going to hang out here for 1 to 2 minutes. You do want to keep your knee as straight as possible. That's going to also stretch the top end of the calf, just like that. Lean in a little bit more. Okay. So now we've got some foam rolling, lacrosse ball rolling, and stretching out of the way. So now what we want to do is we want to actually activate the muscles in the bottom of the foot. A lot of times what happens is the plantar fascia takes a lot of the stress that those muscles in the bottom of the foot are supposed to be acting on, and so it leads to pain and inflammation and things like that. So a very simple thing you can do, grab a wall, you're going to lift your toes up like so, and just prop yourself all the way up on your calf. Back down, I'm going to rock back, stretch all the way up. So it's a little different than a traditional calf raise, and we're actually going to rock back and forth on the foot. We're going to get a little stretch, a little contraction. You want to make sure that as you go up, you're pushing through your big toe and rocking. Pushing through the big toe, just like this. It's a good way to kind of get the bottom of the foot activated and stretched out. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually do some toe exercises. So some of you guys may have played around with this before, or you've seen other videos of mine, or if you've been treated in my office, you've probably been given my toe exercise routine. But it's a muscle group that's commonly neglected. So we're gonna just sit here on the edge of the table. I prefer to start doing it seated. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna keep our big toes down, and we're gonna lift our little toes up. Just like this. And this is just helping isolate the small muscles of the foot. Just like that. Then we're going to keep the little toes down. We're going to lift the big toes. We're trying as much as possible to not scrunch the toes, not grab the ground. We just want to use the small muscles of the feet. So we've got small toes, big toes. We're now going to lift all of them, spread them out, and we're going to do what I call the toe piano. Spread and toe piano. Spread, toe piano, just like so. So we want to practice the ability to actually spread out the toes. So you can even spend some time just relaxed and spreading. Relax, spread, set them down. And some of you guys may struggle with this a little bit at first. I know that toe spacers are becoming very popular. I think toe spacers are a great tool to supplement exercise, but at the end of the day, the toe spacers are not going to activate these muscles for you. So if you have a lot of trouble spreading your toes, you can use the toe spacers just to create space, but you still need to practice, right? So I don't usually give my patients sets and reps for these kind of exercises. I usually tell them to spend 5 to 10 minutes practicing, right? Think of it like you're trying to develop a new skill. Many people are lacking the ability to activate these muscles, so you may not get quality reps if I just say 3 sets of 10. So I'll say practice for 5 to 10 minutes. All right, guys, so just to review what we went through for plantar fasciitis self-care today, we first took the lacrosse ball. We rolled this guy on the bottom of the feet for 1 to 2 minutes per side, and we included some of the flexion and extension of the toes on a really sticky spot. We grabbed our foam roller and we foam rolled the calf muscle, right? So the muscle on the back of the lower leg here. Again, you can also pivot the ankle back and forth if you find a sticky spot. We then use the foam roller to find a deep stretch in the calf and the bottom of the foot to make sure all the tissue is nice and limber. Then we went through our calf raise exercise where we were rocking back and forward onto the toes, really just to find that active range of motion that we had gained by rolling on the foam roller and using the lacrosse ball. And then we went through our various toe exercises, including lifting the small toes, lifting the big toes. We have our toe piano, and we have our spread and set exercises, right, to activate the small muscles of the foot. So to me, that's a very great way for you to prevent plantar fasciitis on your own if you spend 5 to 10 minutes per day on just self-foot care. And again, guys, if you're dealing with plantar fasciitis, or if you have a friend in South Florida that's a runner, wants to learn a little bit more about their body, or if they're dealing with pain, I'm Dr. Will from Miami Spine and Performance. Come find me in Hollywood, Florida.